Hi everyone. So today I am going to start modern Indian history. So talking of modern Indian history, let's discuss how this is classified as modern Indian history. So overall, history is divided into four parts. First is ancient, second is medieval, and third is modern. One more classification which I wanted to tell you is art and culture associated with every one, ancient, medieval, and modern also. So overall, a different sections that I'll cover, that is art and culture. So it is divided on the basis of period. If I call of ancient, that is mostly by Indian rulers before the arrival of foreign invaders. So broadly saying till 700 AD. Talking of medieval, it is 700 AD onwards. Till some say 1757, or let's suppose called Battle of Plassey, which is a landmark battle which led to British put their foothold strongly in Indian territory. So till 1757. There comes modern era of Britishers. When I call of Britishers, initially dominated by EIC, that is East India Company, and then the Crown rule. Art and culture, as I said, associated with ancient also, medieval also, and modern also. So basically, timeline is the classification. Before Muslim invaders, Muhammad Ghori, Ghazni, we call it ancient, mostly ruled by Hindu rulers, and also we call it indigenous rulers. Medieval is something which is ruled by foreign invaders. Initially it is Ghori, Ghazni, and then we call it Delhi Sultanate, slave dynasty, Bari dynasty, Lodi and all, followed by Mughals when Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi, second battle of Panipat, and then followed by decline of after the death of Aurangzeb, later Mughals, and now took over by Britishers. So let's study the basic timeline for modern India. (1498) arrival of European powers. When I call European powers, it starts with Portuguese, followed by Dutch, followed by English, followed by French, and last but not the least, Danes. Dutch means Netherlands, Danes mean Denmark. So you can remember it in this fashion like PDF. So this was the Vasco da Gama and all. So we'll be discussing in detail. No issues about that. 1498, after 1498, let's put 1707 as the landmark. Death of Aurangzeb. Why it is a landmark? Because after the death of Aurangzeb, later Mughals period starts, because as such the Mughal past was not quintessentially powered so as to rule over complete India. Why I am saying this? If you look at the Mughal rules, if you ask a question to me, sir, who is said to be the greatest Mughal rulers? It is nothing but Akbar. But when it comes to territorial expansion, so Mughal reached its climax during the tenure of Aurangzeb. If you see, like, if you see, Mughal reached its climax during Aurangzeb, completely ruled by Aurangzeb. So that's why when he died, so it was tough for later rulers to contain the territory. So it is considered as the landmark. Then we'll broadly saying 1757 Battle of Plassey. Why Battle of Plassey is important? Because it was the first instance when Britishers genuinely got the land area in India. So they have got a well foothold in Bengal by defeating Robert Clive, defeated the Sirajudaulah. Next landmark which I can say is 1761, which is third battle of Panipat, in which Ahmad Shah Abdali defeated Marathas. The budding rulers, they looked promising that if the way they are growing, they can well confront and make themselves juxtapositioned with Britishers. So this is considered as one of the landmark. Next comes 1764 plus 1765. What is this? 64 is nothing but Battle of Buxar. 65 is nothing but Treaty of Allahabad. Why so? Because during Treaty of Allahabad, first I will talk of Battle of Buxar, in which Britishers under Hector Munro defeated combined armies of Mir Qasim, Sujauddaulah and Shah Alam II. So literally the whole northern India was shook off, because after that Mughals were pacified to Allahabad and Kara region. Awadh was made a buffer state, and so that's why this is said to be the period in which they have got a better position. If I talk of next, that is 1857, First War of Independence, 1857 revolt, then you can see that EIC, that is East India Company, grew. And after 1857, it was taken over by Crown till 1947. So this was the period of Crown rule. That means British Kingdom took EIC under control as well as whole India. That was the idea of Crown rule. In this, intermittently, some of the major developments which I will be covering in modern India is 1885. 1885 is establishment of Indian National Congress, the awakening, the political awakening that we are there, and then they'll start the taking concessions initially, then establishing themselves, and then culmination of independence at last. So this can be considered as an important landmark. 1885. 1905. Why 1905? Because this was a period of moderates. When I talk of moderates, I'll be talking in detail, but right now it is something which is a liberal party, a liberal concessions, a liberal pleading. So basically presenting their demand and getting whatever is possible which is under the ambit of Britishers. 1905 to 1915 can be considered as the era of extremist in which they have started revolutionary activities. You must have heard Gadar movements and all, not only in India but outside also. So 1905 to 1915, it is era of extremist. 1915 to, I'll say, 1934, this can be called as Gandhian era, in which different type of movements, Gandhi when came from South Africa, toured whole India and got the idea of social, political, economical awakening of Indians, masses, because masses are involved, masses must be involved to bring any kind of revolution. So 1915 to 1934, major movements were Kheda Satyagraha, Champaran, then NCM, non-cooperation movements, followed by civil disobedience movements. Hope you understood. So we'll be talking in detail, definitely. So this was the era of Gandhian era, followed by the era of negotiations, which was a culmination of talks, negotiations, as well as heated movements like Quit India movement, INA trials, Rin revolt, and lot many things. A lot of concessions, lot of delegations, lot of plans like cabinet mission plan, Webel plan, CR formula, and lot many things. Lastly, Indian Independence Act, followed by Mountbatten plan. We reach to independence. So here comes the last culmination point. So this will be the basic timeline which we will be following while studying. Now, question arises, from where do we get these items, from where we get the history? So I must tell you, history is always subjected to time and space. What I definitely means is you cannot just judge history on the basis of your conscience. You should go for sources, what exactly the sources are, from where you are getting the information, are they authentic or not. So always remember that history is subjected to time and space. When I call time and space means, when you judge anything, judge any personality or judge any of the event, suppose NCM, it was started non-cooperation movement, and after a point Gandhiji called off. Why so? So there must be people dividing opinions, like some of us are saying no, Gandhi is not good. Some of us are saying no, Gandhi is very good. So to judge exactly the reasons for call out, why? Because there must be some situation which had arisen that led to Gandhi to drop this movement. So always remember, it is subjected to time and space. So talking of sources of our Indian history is, first I'll tell, archives. Whatever is there in digital form, or by and large we would not get any digital form, but some written forms. So archives are the major sources. When I talk of archives, we can find it from central government, state government archives, and initially there was provincial governments. A lot of provincial governor was made. So provincial governments. Overall, there were 3 presidencies. So we can also get information from presidencies. Next comes literary sources. Whatever books are available from those era, whether they are written by Indians or foreigners, not a specific matter, but literary sources, like if you find Reign of Wealth Theory written by Dadabhai Nauroji, so if you read that, you will get a lot of ideas what exactly was going on. In a similar fashion, journals. They used to publish a lot of journals. Britishers also, Indians also. They share Katha, a lot of newspapers, Bengali Gazette and all. So those journals, newspapers are are literary sources. Not only this, memoirs. What are memoirs? Memoirs are anything which was written, some personal visits, like you have studied in ancient India, Fahian, Wensang, they have visited India, they have visited Nalanda University, they have written something. Currently also, when you used to go somewhere, we find something, we write in visitors book, our opinions are the way they welcomed, our opinions in what we can improve also. So those things, so memoirs in which people visited and they saw a lot of things. Not only this, some of the paintings, apart from literary sources, some of the paintings prepared by Raja Ravi Verma, Madhubani, Rangolis, in which they must have shown a bunch of officers, British officers, interacting or visiting places, or a scene of a marketplace. So that speaks volumes about the situation of the country or the place. Because if we saw that, if we see the paintings of Kolkata, you can find a lot of heritage, a lot of sources, a lot of marketplace. So people used to, it can be treated as a commercial center. If you find a place like Lucknow, in which you find paintings in which a lot of cuisines are there, which gives us an impression that it must be something related to culture. So that way we can identify. If we see the scene of a port in Hooghly, in Haldia, that means there is something, there must be a port which right now may exist or not exist. So that is a different case. So paintings are also a good source of information when it comes to reading history. Now, we are moving to the next segment, that is approaches to study. Approaches to study again means there must be different perspective to read a particular situation. Like, suppose that there is an elephant. Consider an elephant. Suppose this is an elephant. You ask five blind person to touch that elephant. You will find that somebody touching the head will feel something different. Someone touching the tusk will have different ideas. Someone looking from back has different perspective. So perspective varies. What exactly we perceive is our idea, is our what our conscience says. So when we talk of approaches to study, so there are 6 to 7 approaches to study Indian modern history, in which the first and foremost approach is colonial approach. Colonial approach, mostly the propounders are Vincent Smith and Max Muller. They say that there are 2-3 theories behind colonial approach, in which I said Vincent Smith and Max Muller. So they have opinion that it's totally a positive conquest. It's not to harm but to socialize the world. So first theory in this category says white man's burden. This means that it's white man's burden to socialize people. They claim that in 1500 we European powers felt Renaissance. Renaissance means? Renaissance means awakening. Awakening means getting up, getting different things sorted and different things, taking it to high, whether it is economy, polity, or society. So they claim that their economy grew during Renaissance. They have started well with agriculture. They have given rights, they have given democracy to the world. Their society are more cultured, more progressive, more cognitive base they have. So that's what the idea. So they say that we have got awakened since ages, 300 years. Now it's high time to socialize the world. So this is known as white man's burden. Next matter of discussion under this category is, so we are all positive. If we are coming to you people, to your country, dwelling there, that means we are facing a lot of problems. Still we are living there and we are socializing you. So we are there for greater good. It's not like that we are suppressing you. It's not like that. So that means white man's burden is a theory which supports colonial theory, colonial approach of study. Next is Anglicist versus Oriental theory. Anglicist are those culture which lies in the West. Oriental culture, nothing but Asian culture. So it is the duty of Anglicist to resurrect Oriental, which means they don't know how to live. So it's our duty to protect them, to go to them. Even they don't need, we will be there. So colonial approach says that we make colonies so as to nurture you, groom you, socialize you. And what exactly colony is? So the definition of colony is amalgamation of three things. First is economy control. Second is political control. Third is cultural control. That means if you have all the three controls over an entity, that means you are a total colonial. You are colonized. If someone came to you and he or she controls you politically, economically, and socially, that means culturally, that means you are a total colony of that person. So what Britishers did was they made colony because they are for greater good. So for greater good, they have made us a colony. That's what a colonial approach says. Now you will find that if I draw a rough sketch of world map, just you will see. Consider this as North America, South America. Now this is Europe. This is Asia. This is India. This is Australia. This is Africa. You will find Britishers over this area, this area, this area. There, so they are already there, and even Australia, New Zealand. So they had made colonies. Right now, the era of neo-colonialism, there is a theory called neo-colonialism, in which right now also colonies are made. They attempt making colonies, but partially. Why I'm saying partially? If any country has got economic control over you, but not politically or culturally, that means you are not a colony, but still you are prone to it. If I call off Chinese items which are flooding the market, so in a form or other, Chinese is trying to economically control some of the territories, some of the countries. So it is partial colonization. If you are getting influenced by Western culture, if there is a legacy of Western culture already in your mind, that person speaking in English, no, he must be forward looking, he must be more progressive. That's what the colony is, legacy is, that you are treating a person speaking in English as more superior than a person speaking in regional languages. That is nothing but cultural control. If you are using say mess etiquettes and all created by Britishers, somewhere you are under cultural control of Britishers. If you are dressing yourself in suits, if you are dressing like Britishers, what they did, what they wear, that means some form of other, you are under cultural control. So this was overall a colonial approach in which a total whitewashing was done, that we are here for good. So moving to the next approach. Okay. Moving to the next control. Next approach is nationalist approach. The two main propounders of nationalist approach, when I call, is nothing but R.C. Mazumdar and Tara Chand. They have seen the country as something which is diasporic, something which belongs to us. This land India belongs to us. So he had glorified ancient India. So these propounders glorify ancient India. Why I am saying ancient India? Because they say that though Muslim invaders came and they ruled for 700, 800 odd years, but before that we were self-sufficient. There were a lot of Hindu rulers. They were mostly indigenous. They were self-sufficient as far as ruling is concerned. So don't teach us to rule. Don't teach us to govern. Don't teach us to eat. Don't teach us basically to live. So we already knew. Go and study ancient India. You will find that everything we are aware of. Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka. So we used to be having a lot of army and lot of administration, lot of structured administration. It's not like that. We don't know anything. So they, nationalist approach, glorify ancient India, citing that you have got no role to play. So you just came to conquer us, to maximize your profit, to down us economically and fill your pocket simultaneously. So you just deteriorated us. That's what the idea is. Similarly, we have I'll cite you two things. One is Shekhar. Shekhar wrote Deser Katha. In Deser Katha, you will find the glorification of India already there. क्यों सोने की चिड़िया कहा? So Deser Katha already explain everything. politically as well as culturally. Simultaneously, drain of wealth theory propounded by Dadabhai Naoroji explained, construed very clinically how Britishers took the raw materials from India and Liverpool Company sold the finished products. So this way our economy declined because we used to do it duty free. So it was a tough competition for our local artisans, local merchants to fight, and you just flooded our market with our raw materials only. So you exported duty free, custom free, you imported custom free. That means thing which cost 5 rupees, you sold it at 500. So this way you just deteriorated our economy. So Dadabhai Naoroji in Drain of Wealth theory said you drained our wealth. So he exposed Britishers economically. So somewhere we have negated all three aspects of yours which you have given in colonial approach, that you came to us politically, culturally and economically. Guide us. No. We were there. Just you manipulated us. So this way nationalist approach grew. Next approach, there are 6 to 7 approach we'll be studying in our next class. So for now, just revise, just go through. I'll be telling you a few sources which is important. So first is definitely NCERT should be followed, 11th and 12th. Then you must have heard a book called Policy to Partition. Policy to Partition by Shekhar Bandyopadhyay. Next, you can refer, these are reference book, you can refer India's Struggle for Independence, written by Bipin Chandra. Last but not the least, if you read well, you can go for Spectrum, Rajiv Ahir. So these 4 sources can be taken up. Apart from this, if you are